Will they ask about my prior non-immigrant visa applications? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States at our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. Pay attention, my dear people. In this video, we're going to talk about what happens when someone applies for an immigrant visa and everything's great with the marriage, but for some reason there's something back in the beneficiary's past where they've made a non-immigrant visa application and they're worried about the State Department going back to their records and finding out about that. Maybe there's some information in there or some claims that were made that are going to be problematic. Now, we have seen this time and time again. A couple falls in love. The foreign national lives overseas. The U.S. citizen comes to the country. They get married. The U.S. citizen files an I-130 petition, or if they don't get married and they do a fiance case, the same rule applies. The applications are filed with USCIS. USCIS approves it. The case gets processed at the National Visa Center and eventually, after months and months, sent to the embassy, the consulate, for an interview. And at that interview, the beneficiary's non-immigrant visa applications that were filed in the past come to light. In other words, the State Department wants to ask about applications for a visit visa or maybe a student visa, maybe an E-2 work visa. These kinds of things they want to know about. And so it is all fair game. You need to understand that just because you're married to a U.S. citizen doesn't mean you're automatically going to get your immigrant visa. Just because USCIS has approved your I-130 or your I-129F does not mean you're going to get your spouse or fiance visa. The State Department has the discretion to go back and comb through its files and look to see what kind of non-immigrant visa applications that you have filed in the past. Now, we get a lot of calls on our Immigration Answer show, which you should follow on YouTube. We get a lot of calls on that show from people who are worried about an attempt to come on a visit visa. So a couple falls in love and they figure, well, I want to have my beneficiary, my foreign national fiance, come to the United States and visit. And so they apply for a visit visa, but then they can't show sufficient ties back in the home country, and that visit visa is denied. And people are concerned that now that's going to have like poisoned the well and keep them from getting the marriage-based I-130 visa issued. I don't think that happens in most cases. I think USCIS and the State Department sort of understand that sometimes people make visa applications, that there's no misrepresentation, there's no fraud, nothing like that. Now, stated differently, if the beneficiary has applied over and over and repeatedly applied for a visit visa, or more importantly, if the beneficiary has lied in a prior application, for instance, saying that they were married when they weren't really married in an effort to show sufficient ties back in the home country. This actually happens a lot. Or they lie about the purposes of their visit. They don't say they're coming to see their boyfriend or girlfriend. They say they're coming to attend a conference for medical surgeons, but they are in fact carpenters and not medical surgeons. So these kinds of things happen. And that's really where the prior non-immigrant visas come up, and that can keep someone from ever getting that immigrant visa or requiring a waiver. In fact, I want to let you know that USCIS has improved their technology, and they can now view themselves non-immigrant visa applications. So we're seeing cases where people apply for a green card here in the United States where the beneficiary is in America, and USCIS has the technology and the time to go back and look at the non-immigrant visa application. So this is a really big deal. If you have made any kind of misrepresentation or stretched the truth or misdirected the embassy when applying for a B1, B2, or an F1 in the past, this is going to be an issue. You're going to have to deal with this. Most likely, your I-130 will be approved by USCIS, but then when you get to the embassy, they're going to say that you need a waiver, that you are inadmissible for some prior misrepresentation. So I hope you understand the distinction between just trying to come visit and getting denied. That's one thing. And I sort of think they think, well, now that you've gone ahead and gotten married and now that you've gone ahead and filed the I-130, I think they view that as a form of rough justice. But if they get a whiff, a smell that you have been dishonest with them and untruthful with them and misrepresented things in prior non-immigrant visa applications, that's going to be a problem. The one last thing I'll say about that is a lot of times these mistakes are caused by these agencies. So there are these agencies that claim in each country near the consulate that they can help you get the non-immigrant visa application. And these guys are notorious for saying shit that isn't true, for saying things that are incorrect factually and that are misleading, and which might make it easier for you to get the visit visa, but then once it's shown that you lied, demonstrate that you're not going to get the marriage-based visa at all. And that, of course, is the whole shoot and match. So if you find yourself in a situation like this, or if you're thinking about applying for a spouse or a fiance overseas, and you would like our help with USCIS, with the National Visa Center, and with the State Department, feel free to give us a call, 314-961-8200. You can email us, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Be sure to join us in our Facebook group. It's called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there. We have thousands of immigrants who are in there talking about processing times, talking about embassies, talking about non-immigrant visas, talking about all kinds of things we talk about on our channel for free in the Immigrant Home Facebook group. Speaking of free, we also have our YouTube channel where you're probably watching this video and other videos that we produce, and also where you can find us for our Immigration Answers show, which we go live 3 or 4 times a week, and I try to answer as many immigration law related questions as I can. Thank you so much, and have a great day.